So it's 1998, I'm 22 years old, and at this time I'm absconding from parole, which basically means I've been running and not checking in with my parole agent because I had this bright idea that, since it's CYA, they can hold you till you're 25. I figured I can run until I'm 25 and, never have to do time. But, that was the immature and the stupid way of thinking when I was that age. So that's what I was doing. So I wasn't checking in with my parole officer. I had been running for a few months now. So I needed places to stay. I was trying to stay off the streets. I was, trying to be out the way so I didn't have no police contact or anything like that. I had made a couple trips to Hawaii, was thinking about moving out there, but somehow ended back in Vacaville where all this took place. So on this particular day, me and my girl, we're driving around town. We're driving around Vacaville. We had stayed in a hotel, for a couple nights. Money ran out, so we're basically just driving around town and trying to figure out where the hell I'm gonna stay for the night, so I could stay off the streets and stay out the way. Well, every once in a while, I would stay at a friend of mine's named JP, and he would let me crash there for a little bit. Just him and his girl lived there. So I figured, if worse comes to worse, I'll go to JP's house, but I'm really not trying to go there. Too many people come over there. Too much shit goes down over there, you know what I mean? And it just wasn't my idea of staying out the way. So me and my girl were driving around and for a while, and I can't figure out anywhere else to go. And she's, getting mad at me, talking about she got to go to work. So, she had to drop me off somewhere. So finally I just said, fuck it, drop me off JP's house. So I was hella mad about that shit. And, but we had to do what we had to do. She had to drop my daughter off at her parents' house so they can watch her while she's at work, because we didn't want my daughter over there with me. Just too much shit going on. So she takes me to JP's house. We pull up there, I hop out the car and say bye to my daughter and say bye to my lady and shit. And as she's driving off, she looks at me out the window and she yells at me and says, "Don't be drinking tonight." I'm just like, whatever. I was still pissed that I had to go over here. So I walk up to JP's house, knock on the door, and he answers the door. He lets me in, and him and his girl are there. And he tells me, we was just about to cut out right now. We're about to go get something to eat and go watch a movie or whatnot, but you cool to stay here if you want. He was cool about that, you know what I mean? So I was like, cool. He's like, but I don't want hella motherfuckers over at the house. Me and my girl tripping. We're just trying to kick it, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, cool. So he cuts out, him and his girl cut out, and I'm left there at the house by myself. I'm just chilling, watching TV. And I'm telling you, not even 5 minutes later, man, there's a knock on the door. So I go to the door, I open the door, and it's Chris. And he comes in, he's got a case of beer on him. It's like a 24 pack of beer or some shit like that, or 21 pack, I forget. But he brings in a pack of beer, and we start chilling, and we start talking about what's on the agenda for the night. He had planned on hooking up with some girls that night, so, and I had knew the same girls he knew. So I was like, what's up? Can I kick it? You know what I mean? I'm trying to crash at his house because I'm not trying to stay over here at JP's house, So he's like, yeah, it's cool, you know what I mean? It's not till later on though, And I was like, yeah, it's still early in the day, it's still around like 4 or 5 o'clock. So we're chilling, we over there drinking, we got the music on now, you know what I mean? And there was another knock on the door about 20 minutes later. So I go to the door, I open up the door, and it's another friend of mine. Both of these guys are like my childhood friends, but it's another friend of mine that I know and that Chris knows, Damon. So Damon comes in, he sits down, starts popping some brews with us, you know what I mean? We start drinking, we're just talking and shit. Damon talking about, man, maybe he'll come kick it with us or whatever, but he's chilling for the moment, until we bounce out or whatever. So we're sitting there drinking, and like I said, man, this house, people just be coming through all the time. Not even 20 minutes later, maybe another 20 minutes later, there's another knock on the door. So I get up, I answer the door, and it's Mike and Kevin. And these dudes, I really didn't know them too much. I kind of knew Mike from, just from around certain people. I had bought some weed from him a couple times. So, but we weren't like homies or nothing. We didn't kick it or anything like that. So he was with his friend Kevin. So they come in and they also got like a 24 pack of beer with them. And so we kicking it now. We over here, we're drinking. But pretty much the only people that are really, really drinking is me, Damon, Chris, and that's it. I think Mike's homie, Kevin, he was over there drinking a little bit with us though. But Mike wasn't even drinking at all. So, we're just chilling though. We listen to music until whatever, you know what I mean? Mike and Kevin told us that they were about to go kick it with some females that night too. So they're just kind of killing time, hanging out with us for a little bit, So as we're doing this, me and Damon, we pretty much going in on the drink. That's what we're known for, you know what I mean? We're known to just drink everything in sight. You guys probably have homies like that or whatever, but that's what me and him are known for. We will drink everything that's there, you know what I mean? Even if we didn't pay for the shit. So we over there killing the beers and shit, and I'm pretty faded by now, and so is Damon. Sometime during, all this, Damon hops up and he's like, man, I gotta go pick up my girl. So I'll catch up with y'all later. I don't know, maybe I'll kick it with y'all, whatever, but I'll catch up with y'all later. So Damon heads out, and Chris, he hops up, he's like, man, I'll walk with you. So they went out, whatever, they out there talking, whatever. And I don't know, maybe a couple minutes later, I don't know, for whatever reason, I decide to get up and I go outside. So I go outside and Chris is just standing there on the driveway and he's like looking down the way. And I'm like, are we still gonna hook up later or whatever? You know what I mean? Don't forget about me, because I'm really not trying to stay over here at JP's house. He's like, yeah, it's all good. He's like, but the homie over there about to get in a fight. And I'm like, what? And he says, Damon down the street about to get in a fight with a couple dudes. So I can't see shit. I'm fucking drunk than a motherfucker. So I just take off running. And I start running in the direction that Chris pointed. So I don't even know where the fuck I'm going. And it's dark now, so I'm literally looking down at the sidewalk as I'm running on the sidewalk, because where we live, the sidewalks, they dip in front of the driveway. I know some don't, whatever, but these sidewalks dip. So I'm looking down at the ground as I'm running down the street, So I'm running and I'm heading in that direction. And I come up to this like street that's connected to the main road that I'm on. And so that part of the street that comes out on the main road, I get to that area and I cross the street and I'm on the sidewalk now. So where I'm at, it's dark. In this area, it's really dark. There's no street lamps, nothing like that. It's dark than a motherfucker. So I'm standing there and I'm looking around and I don't see nobody, So I'm just looking, I'm trying to figure out where the fuck Damon is. And then out of nowhere, this cat comes out the bushes. And he comes out the bushes and it's this big old dude, and I mean, he was taller than me, and he walks up and he's like, man, what's the problem? What's going on, And I'm faded. I'm just like, like, what's up? What's up? What's the problem? I'm basically trying to figure out the same motherfucking thing, And then after that, he takes a couple swings at me. I swing at him. He don't connect. I connect with him. He goes down. Okay. So when he goes down, he kind of like does this little turn and then lands down on his hands and knees. So his head's facing that way and his back is facing me. So I kind of just like kick him in his ass real quick and I'm just like, get up. And so I'm telling old boy to get up, and I'm telling you, everything starts happening simultaneously right then and there. Out of nowhere, Mike runs up and he kicks dude that's on the ground right in the side of the head. So he kind of does this like rollover. He does a rollover and he lays down on his back, and as he's on his back, Mike gets a stomping on him. So Mike's best friend, Kevin, out of nowhere comes in right behind him, like seconds later, and starts getting on old boy and stomping on old boy, starts kicking him and stomping on him. So as they're doing this, and like I said, everything is happening simultaneously. So as they're doing this, a little small truck pulls up right behind me. And so it catches my attention. So I turn around and I confront whoever's in the truck. Dude that's driving the truck tells me, hey man, why don't y'all leave that dude alone? Like that's messed up, basically. He's trying to tell us to stop. Me being a dumbass at the time that I was, I tell old boy, like, man, what, you want problems too or something? You know what I mean? Like, I start getting at him crazy and basically trying to fight him. So as I'm doing that, the passenger that's in the car with him leans up and he's like, hey, what's up, Ron? It's me. So I recognize him as this motherfucking dope fiend that's in our neighborhood, you know what I mean? And he just some dope fiend dude that, you know, nobody respected around the neighborhood. So, you know what I mean? I'm basically like, fuck you, you know? And so they see that I'm not like backing down on anything. I'm still trying to cause problems with them. So they kind of just drive off, you know? So as they drive off, I turn around and I look, and where we were fighting with the dude, I look and no one's there. You know, I don't see Mike, I don't see Kevin, and I don't see the old boy that we were fighting with. And like I said, it was dark in that area, but no one's there. I don't hear nothing, I don't see nothing. So I just turn around and I walk back to JP's house. So I get back to JP's house, and not even a couple minutes later, there's a knock on the door, and I go answer the door. It's Damon. He comes in and he's like, hey, Ron, I just walked past that dude back there, man, and he don't look so good, you know? And I was just like, oh, shit, you know, like, I was still kind of faded, so I really wasn't comprehending much, but he was basically saying that dude didn't look too good. Not too long after that, I'm talking about like pretty much back to back, there's another knock on the door, and I open the door and it's Mike and Kevin. They come inside. Me and Damon just basically tell them what Damon saw when he walked past dude, that he wasn't looking too good. I remember that we turned off the lights and shit, and you know, we was trying to keep a low profile. And Mike and Kevin at that time went into the bathroom. I don't know what they was doing in there, you know, but they was in the bathroom for a minute. Not too long after all this was happening, there was another knock on the door, and Mike and Kevin, they just decided to run out the back door and they took off. And I go to open the door, and it's the girls that we were waiting to kick it with earlier. So they come in, and one of the girls, Kim, you know, I was really cool with. I knew her, you know, more than the other chicks, but she comes in and she's like, hey, you know, did y'all do something or something down the street? Because there's hella cops down there. And I was like, for real? You know, I was like tripping now, you know? So, you know, me and Damon are standing there, and I'm like, can you get us up out of here real quick? And they're like, yeah, let's go. And Damon tells me at that moment, he's like, nah, man, I'm going to just head back to, because he lives down that way. So he's like, nah, I'm just going to head back that way. I'm going to walk down that way, maybe see what's going on. And so he takes off. I hop in the car with the girls and we bounce.